All right, welcome in everybody, brothers and sisters, patriots across this incredible nation. It is time to watch a Senate majority vote. It's completely in secret, so we've got some inside stuff we're going to follow and hopefully get it to you as it breaks because we're going to figure out who's going to lead the Senate going forward in the Trump administration. As you guys are here, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on because we have got some freedom to spread and we'd love to have you along this freedom train as it goes out of the station. All right, guys, so as we are getting in here, what we're effectively doing is we're waiting on the results of the Senate Majority Leader vote. I'm going to walk you through a ton of stuff right now, everything from the live updates, from the actual senators in the room, they're doing their speeches, they're doing the votes, and we're going to find out what's going to be happening and how it's going to happen. I'll walk you through the entire thing. Now, make sure you pay attention to our sponsor who made this entire stream possible. It's SDI, Sonoran Desert Institute. Guys, let's just be honest. A lot of us upgrade and modify our own guns anyway. So why would you not want to make that hobby into a career? Sonoran Desert Institute, there's a link in the description box below. They can help turn that hobby into an actual paying career from your house. It ships everything to your door. You can do gunsmithing, ballistics, woodworking and finishes, shooting sports management, drones, anything that you think would be an amazing piece of freedom, and you can make a job out of it. There's a link in the description box below, Sonoran Desert Institute, and tell them that I sent you, and thank you for that. All right, guys, let's go into this. Let me walk you through what's happening. So the vote itself is happening internally through a secret ballot. I'm going to hide myself really quickly. So last night, we had this article go out. There was initially issues with the article getting signed up. Thank you guys who emailed me. We fixed it. But 2,000 of you signed on to this letter. Right there, you can see it, around 2,000 of you. And it went to McConnell and some other leaders in the Senate. You guys are making your voices heard, and I appreciate you signing that. As you can see, there's the signatures, how they show up, and the unique identifiers. It's completely free, something that we use the benefits that the sponsors in the channel allow us to do to build this out for us to impact the change that we want to see. So thank you so much to that, guys, and let me jump right over here to what's going on between these three. Again, as we are getting these updates, I'll keep you updated because it hasn't come out yet, but we're literally going to do this live. For example, I'm watching Mike Lee's feed right now. 37 minutes ago, you can see it right here. We will likely cast the first round of ballots in the Republican leader race sometime in the next 30 minutes. That was 37 minutes ago, as you can see. So we'll just keep on updating that. But let me get you back here. So here are the people that we are waiting on. I got a few articles I want to walk through and a few details. According to Kalshi, and now this is like the poly market stuff, the people who are voting with their money and they're putting bets on it, they're saying this is the breakdown. Now I want to show you something really, really amazing. This is the effort that you guys have put in because prior to this big push that started on Sunday for us, we're talking about 62% was going for Thune or a big chunk, and the other was John Cornyn, and Rick Scott was the outlier. Well, now John Cornyn has fallen to third place. You guys are making your voices heard, which I love to hear. Someone said in the comments here, couldn't find the letter. It was in the description of yesterday's video, and when we went to it, I actually had to fix the timing on it. There was a bit of an issue, but we got it up. I will absolutely be doing more of those, so don't worry about that. But right now, these are the three candidates. Now, here's the piece that I want to give you a very high level. You got two establishment guys over here on the right, John Cornyn and John Thune. These guys are establishment, Mitch McConnell. Everything's in the power at the top, you know, that whole thing. And then Rick Scott is being couched as the MAGA guy, the guy who's willing to help Trump, and the guy who is effectively trying to oust the establishment. Now, here's the little caveat. Of these three guys, there's not really a solid gun rights champion. There's not really a 2A advocate among them. Rick Scott signed red flag laws into law in Florida. Absolutely happened. And John Cornyn, of course, led the negotiation with Chris Murphy and the other gun controllers for the Senate Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, which the ATF therefore took full advantage of and infringed upon the rights of millions of Americans. So that's why I am on Operation Hell No to John Cornyn. And I always will be, and I'm quite salty about it. And I'm okay with it. 32% is not good. No, it's not good if you're compared to 62%. I'm just kind of laying out the lay of the land. And I'm going to keep on bouncing back and forth, guys. We'll have some conversation in the chat over here. As this gets updated, we're just going to find out who it is that they're going to put forward. Here we go. So right now, excellent timing for you guys to join in. Casting ballots in the first round now. So we're going to find this out as it happens live. Here's the way that it's going to work. They have to get a 50% or more, a simple majority of the Republican conference, not the Democrats, only the Republicans. So if they don't get to that 50%, say for example, John Thune gets 49% and everyone else obviously doesn't get 51% either, then they drop the third person and then make it a runoff between the final two, the two highest votes. That's how it works. What I'm hoping for here is John Cornyn to be the third one that gets dropped off before the second round of voting happens. That's what I'm hoping. A sweet little consolation prize would be if John Cornyn just doesn't get it, but it would be even sweeter if he fell into third place and fell off and didn't even make the final ballot count. Call me bitter, don't care. This guy infringed upon our rights, and we fought for 3 years his results from that. So anyway, I'll keep you updated on that as we get it. All right, you guys are getting in here. This is awesome. So David Pittman, something you guys just said, Ted Cruz over these establishment goons. Here's the thing, Ted Cruz, and I've actually got this pulled up, Ted Cruz has gone for Rick Scott. So that's who Ted Cruz is voting for right now as it's happening in the well of the Senate. So there's that piece. Again, there's the odds of where everyone's betting the money is. They're betting on the establishment. They're not betting on the establishment douche in the middle, John Cornyn. And Rick Scott's kind of an outlier, right? Now, as we go into this, I want to show you something that came out from the Blaze. This is that, what's his face? Mike Lee actually put out earlier today. He's backing Rick Scott for GOP leader. Now, Mike Lee is a pretty hardline conservative, right? He's backing Rick Scott, and it's all about effectively coming down against the firm is what they're calling it. Now, this is intriguing stuff, and I'll keep on bouncing back to the actual updates live from the floor of the Senate. He hosted this forum for the Republican senators, as you can see, giving my colleagues a chance to hear from each of the candidates, the three of them running to replace McConnell. He's decided to support Rick Scott. Now, this is where it gets really intriguing to me, because this is what's the kind of the theme that's popping out. Rick Scott has consistently called out abuses of the Senate GOP leadership position in the past, even when it was difficult and at times politically costly to him. I'm not endorsing any of these people, by the way. I'm just telling you objectively what's happening. So he's going Rick Scott, so it seems to be that there's a little bit of a power struggle going on. This is behind the scenes observation, subjective opinion, but I think this is interesting right here. Those rules have been short-circuited by leaders of both parties, empowering what I sometimes describe in the current configuration of Congress as the law firm of Schumer, McConnell, Johnson, and Jeffries, or simply the firm. So what you're seeing here, and it looks like is happening, Rick Scott is rising in resistance to the firm, as though he calls it. So they do this piece of, in my opinion, unconstitutionality, but, I'm not there. They effectively say, hey, we're just going to put what we want forward, and you're not going to be able to do anything. Let's see. Here we go. This is a big part of what Mike Lee is saying. Again, I'll keep checking in a second. For that reason, I've been calling on those running to become the next Senate GOP leader to agree to a series of reforms designed to restore rules, customs, and practices that in the past earned the Senate the current inaccurately title of the world's greatest deliberative body. That's the entire point. These guys are basically fighting against the establishment, what they're calling the firm, which is reflective of what's happening in the electorate with the election that we just saw. This is really interesting. Listen to this. This is what Scott won them over. This is his pitch, and I think this is an interesting pitch that they're throwing. Scott has offered concrete plans for protecting each senator's ability to call up amendments and make them pending, which the firm that he calls didn't allow. Reforming the currently barbaric way in which the Senate passes spending bills, in which most senators have literally no meaningful opportunity to amend or even read and debate spending bills negotiated in secret by the firm, and otherwise ensuring the Senate GOP leader will work for those who elect him, not the other way around. That's interesting. Again, I'm going to go over and just check and see if there's any updates, because ballots are being cast right now as of 6 minutes ago. That's really interesting because it kind of, no updates yet. It kind of reflects what's happening in the electorate across the board. And if you guys are just now getting in here, we're waiting on the results from the inside of the Senate. We're following Mike Lee, who's actually tweeting what's happening inside the Senate chamber for the Republicans and who's going to be the majority leader. Here is what the betting markets are putting the odds on. 62% for John Thune, 9% for CORNYN, and 32% for Rick Scott. Again, I've already mentioned why each of those have their opportunities. John Thune is an establishment Mitch McConnell 2.0. That's the big pull away from him. Anyway, going back to this really quickly, and welcome to the party if you guys are here. Mitch McConnell's final stab in the back. What is the Thune downside? He's an establishment. He's more interested in the integrity of the Senate body versus actually putting forward the agenda. That's what the argument is against him. Let's see. This part right here, I just want to this is the op-ed that he put forward. This is Senator Mike Lee. Scott's approach is also the most closely aligned with and focused on helping President Trump enact his legislative agenda, which is supported by more than 75 million American voters. With this in mind, I wholeheartedly endorse Rick Scott and respectfully urge my colleagues, particularly those who agree that bold reforms are badly needed, to do the same. All right. This is what it's boiling down to. And again, I'm just going to keep this image up because it's a pretty good image. This is what it's boiling down to, guys. It's coming down to the senators who want to take advantage of the MAGA mandate or the Trump mandate or the Republican mandate or the GOP mandate, whatever. First time the Republicans won the popular vote in decades. Or the establishment. So we're seeing the establishment, which is like John Thune, John Cornyn's versus the MAGA agenda, which would be Rick Scott. That's where it boils down, extremely simply, high level. I know it's more complicated than that, but that's what you're looking at right here. So Rick Scott versus Cornyn is like choosing between Biden or Harris. No infringement on our 2A rights. I completely agree. Completely. You're not going to hear me say no. All right. Just keep on updating this as we go in. Still casting. Okay. Now this part right here, I want to show you the actual thread that's kind of trending on Twitter right now. GOP senators endorse Rick Scott for Senate leader. Ted Cruz just did it. Benny Johnson has been on the Rick Scott bandwagon since Sunday. He's kind of doing the breaking news kind of stuff. There's not really more I can say on that. Ted Cruz went. Mike Lee went. There's a few other people in here. Marsha Blackburn has gone for Rick Scott. We've already done that. Ted Cruz. There's some other stuff I want to get down in here while we're waiting. Here we go. Eric Doherty. He needs 27 votes. Are there senators privately backing Scott too afraid to publicly announce it, fearing establishment backlash? Basically, you're seeing it's starting to take shape. I mean, Senator Ron Johnson is going for Rick Scott on national TV. Rick Scott's making a big push on the Trump agenda about being the Senate Majority Leader. He's the one that's being pretty aggressive about winning. Honestly, the other two are kind of being quiet. Here we go. This is what I was looking for 2 hours ago. If we go to Charlie Kirk right here, here are the people that are supporting him basically publicly. Ted Cruz, Mike Lee, Ron Johnson, Marsha Blackburn, Rand Paul, Bill Hagerty, Marco Rubio, and Senate Coach Tommy Tuberville. So that's kind of where we're sitting at in the current moment while we're waiting on these votes to be determined and the ballot to be heard. Still same thing. We're going to find out. So we might find out by Mike Lee once he posts. Effectively, guys, what we're waiting on right now is we're just waiting on them to tabulate the ballots, find out who is either the Senate Majority Leader, or find out if there's going to be a next round of voting, in which case the third highest vote or the third place vote will be dropped off. I really hope that's John Cornyn. I really do. Really, 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 really. No rhinos. Exactly. This is the largest hurdle we have to overcome. 100%, guys. And I'm going to be jumping into the chat, jumping over here. I'll be all over the place, but we'll get through this. This is definitely something that we need to realize is a big part. Rick Scott has lost, I hear. Okay, let me get the updates. Again, I'm following a Senate casting ballot, live updates. Let me just refresh this. I'm literally bouncing over. We're going to find this out. Guys, we're going to get to the bottom of this. Get out of here. Oh, sweet Lord. Okay, can we please just... Republicans are now voting on the first ballot. A source familiar tells The Hill 13 minutes ago. Same thing as Mike Lee. I do not have it as of yet, but I'm sure that I will. If Rick Scott lost, that would put two establishment in the final running. If that were true, just so you guys know. Still no updates on that. That one I don't need to do. Charlie Kirk, let's go back to the GOP trend. All right, so this one, let's just see if there's any more updates. Last updated 2 hours ago, so no, there's not. That's kind of a pointless thing. And guys, while we are waiting on that, I don't want you guys to miss out. There is a merch shop that we have with a discount for 10% off all our limited time designs. You can just go to view all on the website, same one you went to get the letter, and you get 10% by using code 4547, which is Trump's insignia, 45-47. Freedom only lasts if you can defend it. Nobody likes a Glock block. The Kamala going down like a kamikaze plane, and all of our other best hits like the Liberty Tree right there. So completely available. Link in the description if you want to support the channel and get the 10% off. I mean, it's free shipping if you order too. But back to the point at hand. Let's get finding out if Rick Scott did fail or did not fail. I'm just going to keep on refreshing. Jump over here. I'd rather see Ted Cruz win the spot. That'd be kind of awesome. We're going to get screwed. I don't know if we're going to get screwed. I'll be 100% honest with you. Even if we get a rhino like a Thune, or we're not going to get a CORNYN. I refuse to accept that we're going to get a CORNYN. If we get a Thune, then we're going to be in a position where we can actually apply pressure, but I don't know. Just got an update on X. Scott's out, and the two worst rhinos advance. We, the people, are screwed. Cheryl, we're not screwed. We're just not in the best position. All right, so if that's true, again, I'm going to get confirmation. That's what people are telling me. I'm going to go over here to a different thread just so I can look over here without having it streamed. I'm just kind of keeping on going on X, looking around. I am not finding it yet. Some people are saying in the chat that Rick Scott is out and Thune advanced. Thune and CORNYN advanced. Thune 23. Okay, so you guys seem to be having the actual totals. Okay. Come on, Mike Lee. Okay, I'm going to keep on going over here. Bear with me, guys, while I find this stuff for you. Let's see if we can get it. All right, let me put this over here on a chat. Here we go. Let me get this for you. Boop, boop. All right, so here's the most recent update. Breaking: Rick Scott drops out of the Senate Majority Leader race. This is BS, says Gunther Eagleman. All right, so right here. From Trad Pergram, no winner on first ballot for Majority Leader. Going to the second ballot, Scott drops off. Race is between Thune and CORNYN. That's what they are reporting. Let me go to Mike Lee for confirmation or not. I'm just going to wait for him to post it, just because I was following it. Okay, so he's behind. So if this is true, guys, what we're kind of going into right this second, I'll leave that up. What's really weird? I can't log on X. That is weird. So someone just said, I wish Rand Paul would have put his hat in. Yeah, that would have been cool. Defending democracy together. Okay. Yep, there we go. So that is confirmed. Okay, Mike, please get this out of here. Good Lord, the hill. Okay, here we go. Rick Scott knocked out on first vote for Senate GOP leader. Senator Rick Scott, Republican of Florida, has been knocked out of contention for Senate GOP leader in the first round of voting. That leaves Senators John Cornyn, Republican Texas, and John Thune, Republican of South Dakota, in the running. On the first ballot, and this is the totals, Thune got 23 votes, Cornyn got 15, and Scott got 13. Come on, we couldn't knock Cornyn out with 2 more? Weak. All right, so now the second round of voting is going to commence. This is like while we're doing this live, we're watching this happen. All right, there are 100 senators. Yes, there are 100 senators, but this is only for the GOP conference. This is for the Republicans. This is not for the Democrats. I don't like any of the 3. You're not alone. Need to see a list of all Republicans that voted for Cornyn. It's a secret ballot. I don't know if we're going to see it. God forbid Cornyn gets it. Cheryl, if Cornyn gets it, I'm going to be very cantankerous for at least 3 hours. Same. Good Spirit said, I should never have hoped for reform of rogue government gangsters. We are doomed. We're not doomed at all. I mean, at all. Even if you have a piece of junk establishment rhino in here, you're still not doomed. Doomed is a little fatalistic. Just throwing that out there. Why can't we decide? Because this is an internal conference election. That's what they're doing. Okay, so if you guys are just now tuning in, Rick Scott has been dropped out. The vote totals were Thune 23, Cornyn 15, and Scott 13. So as of right now, Thune has a 8-vote lead on Cornyn, and there's going to be 13 that are now going to be reshifting to somewhere among that. So hopefully CORNYN does not get it. I really want CORNYN to lose. Really, 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 really bad. All right. Let's continue to check on Mike Lee because he's after somebody else. Yeah, he hasn't updated yet. Come on, Mike. Weak. Let's go back over here. So they should be voting again right now. So we just got a few more minutes to wait. So guys, the updates that we're looking at here, Rick Scott just fell off. Now it is between John Cornyn and John Thune. So two different Johns, both establishment. One is much more egregious on gun control than the other, and that would be John Cornyn. So of those two, from a gun rights perspective, I would say that John Thune is the least egregious. Of the actual getting things done for the actual MAGA agenda, I don't know which one would be better. Is that bad? I think it's bad. Cool, the Foxes get to decide who runs the hen house. Thune is a warlock. Okay. Oh, man. I'm just going to keep on going through the chats. Can the president lean on the Senate leader at all? Oh, absolutely the president can. Doomed would be President Harris. Take it easy, we're winning. Mr. T, thank you for that. I completely agree. It's a shame Scott's been dropped off. They're both POS traitors. Can they kick out the winner in the near future if needed? Yes, this happens every 2 years. Every time that there's a new election, it's every 2 years. That is a good question. Tired of getting the best of the worst? That's why executive orders exist. Oh, I don't want to go down that road. Executive orders are, ugh, they are spicy. Go one way or the other, I'll tell you that. Mike Lee must be very disappointed because he's not posting about who won, and we know. I mean, like, just saying. All right. Live updates. Yeah, I mean, nothing really is really happening beyond this. That's all we're going to see for a minute. Seriously, I don't care about that woman. All right. With a super chat, Kyle Beckman brings up a very interesting point. Very true. Thune at least voted against the gun bill. Now, what Kyle is talking about is the Senate Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. 100% he did vote against it. We covered that in our prior video. Cornyn negotiated it and drove it and authored it. Thune voted against it. That's very true. He did. Thank you for that super chat, Kyle. HBO Matt, Scott looked like a Kamala-level dork on Fox News. That's funny. Vic Diaz says, yes, but we can lose the House or the Senate both in 2 years. Also very true. You are 100% correct. Both of them are absolute crap that goes straight to the swamp. I mean, yeah, I cannot argue with that point. I genuinely cannot. The argument is, seriously, can they be overwhelmed by the Trump power? Now, this is also something that I wanted to touch on while we're waiting. This was the first early flex after the election from what they would call the MAGA forces. MAGA wanted Rick Scott. They flexed real hard. They had breaking news. They had leaks. They had anything under the sun that you could do to really pressure the MAGA choice of Rick Scott, and it failed. So with the establishment versus the MAGA force, off the bat, right after the election, before the inauguration, the establishment did win that round. Just saying, objectively. How do they keep it secret if they represent us? Talking about the secret ballot, that's a very valid point. It is all about, they argue it's inside their conference, so it's nothing. Yeah, Mike Lee's clearly like distraught or something. He's not updating. So it's a secret ballot. I mean, that is effective as it is. Let's see. That's nothing too new here. I mean, I'll open Reuters just to see what they're saying because I'm curious. But U.S. Senate Republicans reject Trump ally Scott as they pick new leader. Of course, we just covered that. Despite a public pressure campaign by supporters of President-elect Donald Trump, we just talked about that. Republican leaders who won a majority last week are voting to successor to Mitch McConnell. I'm pretty sure that they're going to continue this voting now that they've had it. I don't think that there wouldn't be a reason. All right, so this is a very interesting piece as well. But some of Trump's loudest supporters have expressed concern that Thune and Cornyn, who have both worked closely with McConnell, might lack the willingness to deliver on some of Trump's campaign promises. Without Rick Scott, this part right here, without Rick Scott, the entire Trump reform agenda wobbly, Trump advisor Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said in a post on X. Multiple Senate Republicans resisted the idea of simply voting to back Scott because of public pressure. The job of majority leader, they said, requires someone who has spent time in the building, trust, and support within the caucus. I kind of reject that a little bit. The point is to represent the people, not to represent the senators. That's my own personal take on that. I think that's kind of crap. I don't think there's anything else. No, there's nothing until we get more updates. Thune and Cornyn remain in contest for Senate leadership. Trump supporters, okay, Scott rejected in a closed-door vote. We talked about that. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. All right, let's see if Mike Lee's tweeting yet. Because there should be a second follow-up vote right now. We should be seeing... Mike Lee, you were on it, and then you weren't. It was 23 minutes ago. Mike Lee clearly lost and he's not too happy about it. Oh, Mike Lee. 10 minutes ago. I'm just going to keep on refreshing these pages. Man, the Hill's really investing in these huge little crawler ads right there on the videos. Rick Scott, we know. Okay, that's nothing new there. I'm just going to keep on going on the other behind the scenes thread. This really sucks, says Christopher Reed. Secret voting for public servants. Screwed, more screwed, completely screwed. That's what all three are. Scott's out. John Thune won. Yep, Dean Deal. We've been covering that. My senator voted Thune. I would expect between these two, I expect Thune to win. That's what I expect. Scott dropped out, Henry, because he did not have the votes. The Republican caucus, or the GOP Senate, did not vote for him. Fox is announcing that Thune has won. Okay, so let's see if I can go over here to a different one. I'm going to find this out for you as fast as I can. Yeah, so all I'm seeing, just so I'm not showing this right this second, guys, I'll put this up as kind of like a stopgap kind of thing. Here we go. Just in, Rick Scott eliminated in the first round of the secret voting for Senate Majority Leader. We know that. Total was 23, 15, 13. Scott 13, Cornyn 15, John Thune 23. We already reported that. We already talked about it. All right, here we go. So this is actually coming right here. Let me get this over for you guys. It looks like they have a winner selected. Oops. Here we go. Nick Sorter says, breaking, John Thune wins the vote for Senate Majority Leader over John Cornyn. 29-24, John Thune has won it. That's what that is reporting as of right this second. Oops, let me go back over here. The Senate has betrayed Americans, Nick Sorter says. What do you guys think about this? Honestly, I'm curious. Let me know in the chat what you guys think. Fox is saying Thune won. Yeah, my sources are saying Thune won. It looks like John Thune has defeated John Cornyn. Now, I'm going to do baby steps here. John Cornyn, eat it. Enjoy your loss. I hope you go to bed forever for the rest of your career, and when you retire, saying the words Senate Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, because I guarantee you that had something to do with it. So I'm going to say that. Go team. Y'all did a great job. No more John Cornyn. Now, to the John Thune thing. This is my personal expectation. You had Rick Scott that fell. Again, this is 2A. This is a 2A interpretation, and then I'll do a different interpretation. So for the 2A interpretation, you had John Thune, you had John Cornyn, and you had Rick Scott. Rick Scott had passed red flag laws in Florida prior when he was the state governor. Absolutely happened, 100%. Then you've got number 2 for John Cornyn. He negotiated the Senate Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, which the ATF used and the Biden administration used to infringe on the rights of millions of Americans and their gun rights. And then you had John Thune, who's an establishment, who voted against that same bill. Will Crump says with a super chat, we have been stabbed in the back by McConnell. I will, I'll come back to the other part in a second. Stabbed in the back by McConnell. The reason that he's saying that is because McConnell made this a secret ballot and he rushed it on Wednesday to go out and do it. That's what he's referring to. So Mitch McConnell did it before the actual presidential swearing in on January 20th. So this will be for the next Congress. That's what he's referencing. Now, the other piece this is my analysis on this, that's kind of the more important piece, speaks to the bigger element. There's the Second Amendment, which is a huge important element to this. Then there's the broader element, and that's the MAGA versus establishment. And that's what we kind of do on this channel is we branch the Second Amendment observations of what's happening and we tie it together with politics general, and then we show you pretty much where it's going to go. So what the big fight here was, and what it really boiled down to, was not just the Second Amendment. It was really establishment versus the MAGA wing of the party. That's what we were looking at. You were looking at Trump and his acolytes wanted Rick Scott because they would be perceived as a yes man and he would be outside the establishment. And then the establishment came in with John Thune and John CORNYN and said, no, this is the establishment. This is the way it's always been. We want it this way. And that was the friction right there. That was the friction point. That's why you're seeing the Senate has betrayed Americans, because the establishment just won. Now, John Thune is heavily establishment. And if you're just now tuning in, we had 2 rounds of voting for the Senate Majority Leader for the Republicans. Rick Scott fell out in the first one. The second one was between Thune and CORNYN, and now Thune has prevailed by 5 votes. Haha, John CORNYN lost. John Thune is wishy-washy on the Second Amendment, but he has not directly gone against like the Senate Bipartisan Safe Communities Act like John CORNYN, or in my opinion, how Rick Scott did it as a Florida governor. Not on a Senate level, but on a state level. That's what we've been watching right now. So there you have it, guys. We have the vote. We timed it right, which is extremely exciting. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We have a new Senate Majority Leader on the GOP side, John Thune. We will see where this goes. He is extremely establishment, very tied in. We're going to find out. Everything will be linked to what I just showed you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you share this out, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.